All right, Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rachah Kwadash, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me the truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. To you I say Shalom. This is the brother Yeshaya coming at you again through spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. And, coming at you with another lesson. This one's going to be entitled AI bots to take your place. Okay, because as we see with the advancement of AI and also technology, we're seeing talks of um, robots pretty much taking the place of humans, right? Whether it's from daily tasks, whether it's from work, what I'm saying, like warehouse jobs, all kinds of jobs. These AIs and these bots are pretty much taking over. But not only are we seeing them take over, as far as AI, take over certain jobs. Esau's working on these humanoid bots to pretty much replace the masses of the people. And but they're doing it in a way to where they're being used as a form of convenience. You know what I'm saying? But you also have movies like AI Robot. Was it iRobot? Slovakia iRobot, with Will Smith, going into how these bots will eventually, you know, turn on the people, turn on, the masses, you know, but they'll be used as a form of convenience to help people on the day to day, chores or whatever, right? But like I said, uh, uh, uh eventually these bots, they're gonna be used for something more malicious than you might think, right? Like I said, that movie itself, I Robot, goes into it. You have the Terminator, right? But let me get this article real quick. It says video China firm unveils combat-ready humanoid robot fighter set for field trials. Right, so they already have a robot that can that is used for combat, that has combat skills or combat uh uh is combat ready. You know what I'm saying? It's been programmed to you know, do certain fighting skills or have certain fighting skills, right? But it says the T800, the T800, that all goes back to that movie Terminator, right? They'll call their the Terminators what T800, T500, T1000, the T2000, right? So this shows you the mindset of these people that are creating these bots, uh, 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 where this technology is headed, right? I believe, and this is China, right? But even in China, they have this AI called what's it called? Starlink. No, not Starlink. Salakia. I forgot the name of the AI in Terminator. Uh, Skynet. Skynet. That's exactly what China has too. China has the Skynet. Now they have the T800, right? But let me read this. It says the T800 uses 360-degree lidar, stereo vision, and fast processing for obstacle avoidance, with joints delivering 450 nm for advanced moves. It says China has unveiled a striking new entry in the race for human-shaped machines, the T800, a full-scale humanoid robot designed for combat. Now, let me read a little bit more because I got a video I want to show pertaining to this bot right here. But it says unveiled by Shenzhen-based Engine AI at the World Robot Conference in Beijing. The machine matches an adult human in the size and weight. It is being positioned as a platform for controlled fighting demonstrations scheduled later this year. According to the company, these bouts will serve as a proving ground for strength, endurance, and agility before the technology transitions to industrial or service environments, right? Service environments. What could that be? You know what I'm saying? It could be, from working in, your Walmarts, from working in these warehouses, right? Industrial, right? Even serving as police officers, right? Over there in China, they have bots that it's in demo trials, but they have them out there patrolling the streets, right? And we know that China is like the blueprint of how the rest of the world is gonna start. Pretty much, China's the blueprint on what the elites want the rest of the world to look like, right? As we know, everything that takes place first always takes place first in China, right? The social credit score, because these Asian people, they're good at taking orders. But when it comes to thinking on their own, the motherfuckers are retarded. Ammon and Moab, they can't really think for themselves like that. Just personally, just me saying it personally, but uh, we see this technology being implemented in these countries, ultimately to be demoed and be used as trials to be implemented onto the rest of the world, right? So like, I'm tired of these damn ads, man. But anyway, let me see. Going back, it says in February. Hold on. This is confusing. So like, okay, right here. It says in February, the Chinese robotics startup claimed its PM-01 became the first humanoid to land a front flip, sharing footage of the robot walking through Shenzhen and continuing to evolve. It says, right, and there's a constant, advancement, constant updating, constant, patches that they try to, that they'll do to these um, software or even robots, you know. So it's just going to continue to progress here from here on out. But it says kicks power and precision. In a field where new humanoid robots are appearing almost weekly, standing out takes more than smooth walking or basic hand gestures. Engine AI seems to understand that, and its new humanoid robot, the T800, is being introduced with bold style and a strong marketing push. The company is promoting the machine not just as a useful robot, but a high performance model capable of dynamic actions like flying kicks, and has plans for a robot fighting tournament. You had that movie, Real Steel, where they had robots, but that was like, I believe that was like all um, controlled, which I believe they're doing the same thing we're here too. But the point being is that these advancements are taking place, where they're using robots, AI, to um, further these advancements into having these humanoid robots eventually, you know, start being placed into households, start being placed into workplaces, and start seeing these, bots more and more frequently, and eventually we understand that this is gonna, uh, well, as far as the elites' minds go, they really want to replace humanity. Humanity, as they view it, are useless eaters. They see the common person as being pretty much taking up space, you know. But and a part of the new world order, is pretty much to eliminate, a large majority of the population, you know, and then have robots take their place and be the the, the slaves, so to speak, right? You had the Georgia Guidestones that talked about lowering the population down to 500 million. So if that's the case, that would be 7.5 billion people that have to die. You see? But anyway, I want to show you this video. Oh wait, it's on YouTube. I want to show you this video real quick. This is from that same company, debuting that T800. So let me play this. So you see that, man? Like they're training these robots to be to pretty much learn martial arts, man. Kickboxing, boxing, jiu-jitsu. You know what I'm saying? Hey, so I mean, I know they're doing this as like, as for fun or whatever, or maybe just for advancements, but all this is going to be used, all the technology, all the information, all the data that they have is going to be used for the rest of the bots, right? And a lot of them are going to be used for military purposes, policing purposes, right? And if these programs are installed into these bots, they're going to be whooping ass, man, especially if they know how to do martial arts, right? And this all goes back to the scriptures, how we're going to be coming into these times where, you know, it's going to be so bad out here that we're going to need divine intervention. Because imagine coming up against one of these things, man. It's trying to kill you, it's chasing you down because hey, we're going to be like pilgrims on the earth. Heavy persecution is going to be upon those that fear the name of the Lord, right? Esau's going to come with that great wrath. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and get that first. Revelation 12, verse 12. It says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. So he's going to come down with that great wrath, man. Esau is going to use everything in his arsenal to come up against the elect. You see, and that's going to be you, and that's going to be things like this: humanoid robots, right? Fighting robots, Terminators, right? Let me see. Let me go back to Daniel 12 and verse 1. It says, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble such as never was since there was a nation, even to that very same time. So the times we're coming into is terrible times. No other time in history can compare to this time. So, expect to see strange sci-fi events, man. Shit that we used to see as kids, movies, televisions, all this sci-fi, robotics, alien type of stuff. We're about to start seeing some stuff like this, man. Right? Newly created beasts. There's gonna be a lot of things that's gonna be popping up here in these last days, to bring judgment upon those that ain't right. You see, whether it's humanoid robots, whether it's killer robots, whether it's beasts, all these things that have that are being created, and is being developed is all to forward the plan of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to bring in this Jacob's trouble, right? That's in as a matter of fact, let me finish this out, then I'll get that. But it says, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time, and at that time that people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book, and that's talking about the elect. So let me get this. This is Jeremiah 30 and verse 7. It says, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. See, the time of Jacob's trouble, right? And we can't say this enough. It ain't called Jacob's trouble for no reason. This time period is designed to uh take away, pretty much to eliminate the rebels of our people, which is the majority of our nation. And in that, you're gonna have the elect going through some trials and tribulations themselves, but they're gonna be delivered, right? It says, but he shall be saved out of it. Who's he? Talking about the elect of the nation of Israel. Those are the ones that's gonna be delivered out of all these things that we're talking about here, man. Killer robots, right? The Most High is gonna raise up a standard, right? As a matter of fact, that's in what's that? Isaiah 59. Isaiah 59 and verse 19. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against them. You see? So once Esau comes in like a flood. When a flood comes in, it comes in, rushing. It's overwhelming. A lot of times it comes in from many different angles. That's how Esau's coming. He's coming from many different angles, and he's coming to swarm. He's coming to smother, the elect, right? But in that moment, because Esau is coming with, Palantir, he's coming with Gideon, he's coming with AI, he's coming with, his robots, he's coming with his soldiers, all his technological tech, how would you put it? Technological advancements, his might, his weaponry. He's coming with everything, man. Right? So the Most High is gonna have to raise up that standard. As we see the left hand getting stronger, the right hand is gonna have to come up with that knockout punch. And that's gonna be through the spirit. Right? Brothers is gonna start getting that spiritual power, getting that, that becoming like X-Men, right? Spiritual power is coming because it's gonna be needed. Like I mentioned in the beginning, divine intervention is gonna be needed to combat and protect the elect from these said perils, from these devices that Esau is coming with, right? So let's go back. Um, Let me see. All right, so I got that. Let me get this because, like I mentioned, this is going worldwide. This ain't just a China thing, right? As a matter of fact, let me get this. Let me go into the hour of temptation, which we know the hour of temptation is speaking about whenever they're going to start implementing the MOTB. But this also indicates how this time that we're coming into Jacob's trouble, the time of uh, 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 like the scriptures talk about this time that we're coming into, a time like no other, where even Michael the archangel is going to have to intervene. This time is going to affect the whole world, man, because Esau is coming with that great wrath upon the whole earth, right? He's tired of having people running free. He's tired of you know his lies being exposed. He sees his power dwindling and his control, slipping from his fingers. So he's going to do his best to try to maintain power, and that's going to be by eliminating majority of the population. That's going to be through his pseudoscience, through his AI, through his robotics, through all his, everything that he has to his disposal, man. Right? But anyway, it says, Revelation 3:10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. Right? Because it's going to be a hard time. Jacob trouble is going to happen. Right? Hard times. People ain't going to be able to work. People ain't going to be able to eat. Then you're going to have persecution, killer robots, and all kinds of madness happening at the same time. This is going to try the faith of the elect, uh, 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 but as we understand, the elect are going to make it through it. This is going to test everybody. Everybody's metal is going to be tested in this time. We're going to see what everybody is made of, right? So let me see. Let me go back. Wanted to bring this out, right? It says Tesla Optimus shows off its newest capability as progress accelerates. So it says Tesla Optimus showed off its newest capability as progress on the project continues to accelerate toward an ultimate goal of mass production in the coming years. Right, so this is what they're planning: mass production of these robots. But it says Tesla is still opening or still developing Optimus and preparing for the first stages of mass production, where units would be sold and shipped to customers. CEO Elon Musk has always marketed the humanoid robot as the biggest product in history, even outside of Tesla, but of all time, right? Because it's going to be like having your own personal slave in your house. You know what I'm saying? The concept of slavery has always been around, right? There ain't nothing wrong with having a slave. Now, the children of the Lord, the Israelites, we were never meant to be slaves. But even amongst us, we would have certain of our people in slavery, but there were certain rules, certain stipulations that would have to take place. After 7 years, he would have to go out free, with wealth. And there were certain other things like taking the digital, or not digital, Salakia, but um, say for example, the servant wanted to serve his master forever. He would have to go up. Him and his master would have to go up to the elders and get it all, inserted through his ear, which that all in modern time is that MOTB, right? Which is going to be used, so that way if you uh, 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 decide to, during the time of Jacob's trouble, decide to go back to normalcy, Esau is going to have that ready for you to submit to it in order for you to operate within his system, within his society, which is going to make you a perpetual slave, right? But anyway, um, the point being is that slavery was always there in history. Only now Esau is using these robots to pretty much fill in that spot. But it says Tesla is still developing Optimus and preparing for the first stages of mass production, where units will be sold and shipped to customers. CEO Elon Musk has always marketed the humanoid robot as the biggest product in history, even outside of Tesla, but of all time. He believes it will eliminate the need to manually perform monotonous tasks like cleaning, mowing the lawn, and folding laundry. However, lately Musk has revealed even bigger plans for Optimus, including the ability to relieve humans of work entirely within the next 20 years. And that's what they want, man. They want to relieve humans from work entirely. And what's that mean? That means humans are going to be obsolete. You're going to be useless. What's your purpose going to be then? Especially for the average person that has little to no skills, whom the elite view as useless eaters. You see? So these bots are going to be made to take over your spot. They're going to take your place. You see? So let me read this back. It says, however, lately, Musk has revealed an even bigger plan for Optimus, including the ability to relieve humans of work entirely within the next 20 years. So this is going to make humans of no use, of little value, little to no value. Which is why they're working on that, what they call it, the UBI, the universal basic income. Where you won't have to work, you will just get almost like an allowance, a weekly allowance. And when you go dig deeper into that, the UBI system and some of the things that they have in mind, you'll pretty much own nothing and be happy. Everything you'll do, you will rent it. You'll have subscriptions. You'll live in a 15-minute city. Everything will be, like a dystopian society where robots will do most of the work while you just, I don't know, sit around or do whatever. I don't really know what the fuck Esau has in mind, but we understand that Esau is really trying to eliminate most of the population. Those who he deems as being useless, and that's really you, Jakes, too. Because you are a major threat to this system, and he just wants you done away with altogether. But let me see. This is or continuing on. It says development at Tesla's artificial intelligence and robotics teams has progressed, and a new video was shown of the robot taking a light jog with what appeared to be some pretty natural form. So here's the video. I'll just play it. It ain't not crazy. Yeah, see that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's small compared to that previous video that we saw from China. It's showing you how China, man. China is the role model or the trial grounds for the new system that they're trying to bring out, right? But let me see. Let me see what this is. This one. All right, yeah. You get it. You get the point. You know what I'm saying? These advancements are going to end up replacing humanity. These AI, these robot advancements, they're going to be used for to replace, the lack of workers. Because soon we're about to start seeing a recession taking place where there's going to be little work or no workers. You know, people going on strikes, people, revolting, rioting, and what's going to take the spot for those people? These bots, man. These bots, they don't argue, they don't fight. You know what I'm saying? They don't come in late to work, right? And eventually, one thing that I see is, if police uh, uh, start to have a different opinion on how the government should be run, and we're going, and especially with these crazy laws that Donald Trump is starting to implement and change up, we're going to start seeing, division within the ranks of the police, the military, and shit. There might be some falling out. You know, Scripture talk about a civil war. Egyptian versus Egyptian, right? Let's believe these bots are going to fill in some spots, man. Some people's positions is going to be filled in with these bots, right? But let me close it off with this one last precept. I'm gonna finish it off with this. Matthew 24 and verse 22. It says, "And except those days shall be shortened." Salakia. Let me go verse 21. It says, "For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened." You see, because when you have, because we're in the time of Jacob's trouble. We see what's going on with these ICE raids. We see what's going on with the legislation, with free speech. Everything is leading up to the end times. We see it, man. It's plain as day, right? And then you have, AI advancements, robotic advancements. The fact that they're creating these bots to be, combat ready, just shows us where these things is headed, or what the implementation of these things and the capacity of these things and how they're going to be used in the coming years. Um, Pretty much what they're going to be using it for, right? And we know it's going to be used to bring in that NWO. It's all going to tie in together, right? But unless these days be shortened, shall no flesh be saved. Esau's mind is, scriptures talk about how his soul is not upright in him. You know, this man's mind is hell bent on destruction. Is hell bent on death, on taking over everything, taking your soul, controlling everything. Right? The scripture talk about how this man uh, is as death and cannot be satisfied. Enough is not enough for this man. This man has a whole world, all the resources, but yet it's not enough. So the Most High has to take this man out, because ain't no way life can continue on the way it's at least in the trajectory that it's going, and especially with the ideas and the thoughts that this man has for the future, man. Ain't no way the earth can handle more, man. So I pray the lesson was edifying, but I'm gonna go ahead and close it out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth and rule well. Peace and blessings unto the hopeful elect, pushing his word throughout the four corners of the earth in truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Until the next time, I'm going to say Shalom, Kwam Yashala.